Welcome back, everybody. Today we have Jordan with us. How are you doing today, Jordan?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Not bad. Where are you calling from?
Ontario, Canada.
Ontario, Canada. How long have you lived up there your whole life?
Yep. Born and raised here, and I grew up up north, and I'm working down south now by Mississauga Airport.
So where you grew up, was it a lot colder where you were up there than where you're at now?
Um, by a couple degrees, yeah. But actually, my fiance he's from 10 hours north of me, and it's about a 10-degree difference sometimes. Sometimes even 20.
God. That's how long now is it cold? How's your winters? How long are your winters?
Recent years they've come a lot warmer, and we haven't been getting the snow that we used to get, but they can be pretty bad.
Yeah.
The roads are usually closed. When our fiance and I were doing long distance, we were doing a lot of driving on the highways, and it was just really bad for transport accidents, and roads were bad. Yeah.
Crazy. So Jordan, what do you do for work?
Um, put it simply, I guess I I'm a material handler, crane operator, but since I don't know, I've been coming into the yard since I can remember. My dad, he owns two scrap yards, and I started just cleaning up oil messes and doing all the mechanics. And by 15, 16, he threw me in a cat. I started picking apart cars, and my job there was to pull out all the goodies, like the wire, the motors, any kind of aluminum. And then from there, I just kind of started picking up all the machines, and now I'm 26, and I I run all the machines in the yard, and everyone kind of just runs around me.
So the first of all, the picture you sent us of you standing in front of your machine is probably one of the most badass pictures I have seen.
I
I
felt a little.
absolutely love it. Me and
Thank
Tiffany were like, "That's awesome. That's amazing."
you.
So, do you run that quite often?
Yep, that one's a daily thing for me. So right now, we our yard is always changing. Scrap yard, depending on the business, what's in, what's out. Our yard is always looking different every year. So right now, we're big into the trailers. There's a new law here where um, most of the trailers aren't going to be up to code. So people are getting rid of them, and instead of just putting in the money to make it up to code, you can buy a new one for about the same. So we get like about 10 trailers a day sometimes.
Like
And
semi trailers?
yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And either my dad or I will start by just ripping it up. So you got your aluminum siding or steel, depending on the trailer, and you got your bed. From there, I'll take the extrusion off the sides with a picker. I'll pick out all the wood, and then I'll throw it over to my shear, that machine that you've seen there, and I'll chop up all the axles, chop the tires off, and send it out.
So, how long does that take you to do all that? To do like one trailer to completely strip it down?
Um, I don't know now. Like, it's such a because at first, I guess it take all day to do the full process to do two trailers.
Oh, okay.
But by now, we have two or three trailers backing up at a time, and we're doing two or three trailers at a time. I think by lunchtime, I can have at least 10 trailers fully processed
Oh, damn.
if I want to. If I want to, there.
Yeah, you're cruising through it.
Yeah, and then gives me some time. I hop over onto another pile we call our shred pile, and I do what I used to do as a kid: rip apart cars and get it ready for baling.
That must be fun. It has to be fun to be able just to rip apart stuff, crush your cars, all that. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It doesn't get boring because there's always something to do.
Yep.
And even when work is dried up, there's still scrapyard. There's never work. There's never no work. You can just keep going until there's nothing left.
So, you did say your dad owns 2 scrap yards, so your father's blue collar.
Yeah.
Is anybody else in your family blue collar?
It started with my grandfather actually. I think it was
Okay.
62 that our company Inland he founded with his grandfather, and it just got passed down the line. I think it was 2012. We did go bankrupt, and that's when my dad took it over with his brother. And since then, we've been pulling it out of the hole. Um, Inland used to be, I think, one of the biggest scrapyards in Ontario. We had 4 or 5 scrapyards till we went under. But uh, he, when he was working under Inland instead of owning Inland, he started up his own business and just to deal with non-ferrous metals because Inland was more of a ferrous metal scrapyard. And since then, he's got my fiance actually works this yard. It's called BGS, my dad's other business. He shreds aluminum all day, the aluminum from our trailers, and then my dad and we work inland. So
So when you say shreds it, what's that process?
usually I'll just like mangle up the aluminum siding enough. My dad will shove it in a little trailer buggy we got. We'll roll it over to Mart and just tosses it into like it's a big hopper. Then there's um,
Okay.
yeah, a
I know
big
exactly what you're talking about. I've seen those things, and it it's hard not to watch those videos. Like, you can get sit there and watch them for, like, 3 hours straight, watching Crush all that stuff because it's just amazing on what those things will shred. I've seen them do, full blown, engine blocks and it just shreds it like it's paper.
yeah,
Oh.
that's what they are, big paper shredders.
Yeah, definitely cool. Definitely cool. So you said your fiancé works with you.
Yeah.
How is that?
Like everyone we've ever talked to, they've always given us the warnings or like, oh yeah, we know it's good at first, but just wait. Um, Mart and I we have a different kind of story. We did long distance for a while, and then when we were ready to move in, my dad, I was really lucky. He has a shop on the BGS property, and he converted it into a little apartment for Mart and I. So we actually live here at work,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, it's nice. No traffic.
Yeah, you're good to go. You walk straight out on the job site. You're good.
um,
That's
I,
awesome.
yeah, no, I it's great. I mean, other than being in a scrapyard, it's it's really nice being at work.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna drive to work, you ain't gonna drive home, you just walk and you're good. It takes the miles off the car and
Yeah.
saves you gas. I
Yeah.
mean, that's awesome.
We got 2 dogs too, so it helps with taking them out. They're not stuck all day inside. And but anyway, when we moved down here, we kind of just jumped right into it, into this little apartment. Uh, I I never lived down here in Mississauga, so I didn't know anybody, and he was from way up north, so he didn't know anybody. So we're really like stuck together.
You
Um,
Yeah, I
I
can see that. You not knowing anyone, both of you, and you're like, "Alright, now we're here and we're with each other 24/7 now."
yeah. I all I can say is I'm lucky it was him. That's all I can say because I went through a really hard time. I was really overworking myself, and to the point where like there was nothing left up in here. And I went to rehab just to find a baseline, get better. And he supported me the whole way through. And when we came out, we just like we don't want to be separate. Maybe people say that's not healthy, but we do everything together. We work together, we live together, we hunt and fish together. We like I go out one day and we miss each other. Like it's crazy. So I'm really grateful to be able to work with him.
Yeah, that's truly amazing. That's a soulmate. That's
Yeah,
what that is.
yeah.
So you did say hunting, and I gotta know, did you get a moose?
I didn't personally get the moose, but yep, Mart's mom got the moose. It was her first moose ever too.
Awesome.
Yeah, big.
Now how long was that hunt for?
Um, Sorry, I answered
You're
the dog.
okay.
Um, they're fighting over a toy. Um, we we hunted Mart and I just 2 days for bow hunting. We seen two deer, or sorry, two moose. We were out for moose. Um, and then we didn't end up shooting anything. We had a cow tag, and then for a rifle hunt, it was our first day out. 2 hours in, and we got our bull. We had a bull tag for rifle. So
How big was it?
uh, he was pretty big. I think I want to say it was 43 inches. The rock. I'm not sure, or maybe I'm getting it mixed up. 33. But
How does moose taste? I don't think I've ever had moose. I've had venison, I've had hog, I've had rattlesnake,
oh
all
wow,
kinds of yeah, I've had some different stuff, but I don't think I've ever had moose.
moose. It's not as gamey, I think, as deer, or at least I feel. But it's really tough. Like if you like
Really?
tough meat, then good. But if you're not for tough meat, then bring another set of teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not I don't like to sit there and have to chew and chew and chew and chew. I would like to try it though. I've never tried it.
Yeah, depending on how you cook it, you can make it pretty tender and um, like anytime you slow cook moose, I find it you're not getting that chewiness. So
So what else do you hunt?
um, really, right now, Mart and I just hunt moose. Like, we go out for a moose hunt. We do hunt partridge when we have the chance, but my parents are actually very against hunting, so um, we would be hunting deer and turkey down south. He doesn't have that up north, but we're not allowed on the property for hunting.
Man. Are you doing fishing?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
any chance we get.
Yeah, that's all I do a lot of fishing.
You do
But
ocean
down
fish?
yeah, down here in Florida, I mean, your options of fishing are almost endless. We have all kinds of good places to do freshwater, and then you have the whole ocean, the intercoastal. I do a lot of intercoastal. I don't like going far, deep sea. If I can't see land, I'm not really about it.
Yeah.
I I like to at least see where we came from. But yeah, every so often we'll go out in the ocean, but I do a lot of intercoastal. The fishing's good down here. How is it up there?
Honestly, I don't think it would compare. Like I see videos of the bass that you guys catch down there, and like both Mart and I want to take a trip down there just for bass fishing. But we got we got a I guess a good variety of freshwater species. Mart and I like to go for salmon. Um,
See, that's what I wanna do. I've never gone for salmon.
it's a lot of fun. I don't know how it compares to saltwater fishing, but it's a lot of fun. When we moved down here, we didn't really get into it because we didn't know anything about salmon fishing or fishing for trout. We never did downriggers and stuff like that, so we kind of just didn't bother with it for the first couple of years. The last year or so, we got into it, and we really wish we'd gotten into it sooner. Um, just when they're doing their run up the river, we went out. We weren't prepared because we had never done it before when they're doing their runs, but we were casting for them. And I've never had a fish spool me out so fast. Like there was nothing we could do. You put your hand on the spool and it just snapped the line. Like there's literally nothing.
My god. Yeah, I've seen videos of, like, people doing fishing, and I mean, you have, like, 50 people standing in a line as the salmon are running, and it's just insane to watch because of how many fish are in the water. And I mean, big ones, like you said, they'd take your line straight out. The big fish.
Yeah, that was the we went out in the boat. There's like you say, people are lined up
Yeah.
right down the shore. So we went out in the boat and all around the boat, didn't matter where you looked, there was salmon jumping. Like it was crazy. I've never seen so many fish just jumping around the boat, and like you cast at them, and they're not in the mood for feeding, but they when you catch one, They want to fight.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, I would love to do that. I haven't got the chance to do that. I've done ice fishing and all that, which ice fishing's okay. I get
Yeah,
kind of bored pretty quick,
yeah, that's how we feel too.
but no, dude, going for salmon would definitely be fun. Do you have any other hobbies?
Not really. Work,
No?
work's my
Work,
other.
yeah. So do you plan on taking over the business one day?
Um, I think that was the plan originally. Um, Living down here, I just Mart and I are quiet people. We're not really city people, and it's hard for us to go out on the weekend living down here. To go fishing, it takes us an hour or two to drive somewhere where it's worth it, and
Yeah,
um,
that sucks.
it's just really not affordable in the city.
Yeah.
So we're
Well,
gonna
that's a
probably head
that
up north.
yeah, that's everywhere right now. I mean, the prices on houses, especially down here, is wild. Everything is so expensive. It's hard to for everybody to live right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you didn't take over, what would uh what would be your next career choice?
Um, I haven't yet decided. There's a couple of options. Mark used to be a driller up in. Sorry,
You're okay.
sorry about that. Mart, he used to work in a gold mine as a driller, and we've talked about just because we love our working relationship so much that I would come in as his helper and he would go back to drilling. Um, but I've also his family is into bushwork, so working on dilemmas and forestry work.
Yep.
And I wouldn't mind getting into one of those machines. It's a lot like my picker, and
Yeah.
I know I'd be isolated away from everybody and be able to do my own thing.
Yeah, that'd be kind of good because I mean, like you said, it's pretty similar, so you'd be really comfortable going into it. You'd already be, comfortable. You wouldn't be very nervous, even
Yeah,
though switching completely different jobs, but you're still running a machine that you'd be like, all right, I can do this.
yeah,
But I mean, being a drill hand, that'd be cool too. I've done drilling.
yeah. It seems pretty intense.
I did drilling and blasting for a little bit, and I mean, as a man, to blow shit up as your career, that it was awesome. Drill holes and then blow the whole pattern up. It was definitely a cool experience, but money wasn't the best and had to move on. But he worked in a gold mine.
Yeah, I was Detour Gold at the time. I think it's Kirkland Lake Gold now or Kale.
That's awesome. Uh, we got to get him on here too.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
only had one other miner on here that has done gold, and I've only had one miner on here. So
yeah.
definitely always looking out for other miners.
Got some funny stories. He's got a lot of stories, that's for sure.
Yeah, if he's interested, you let him know.
We'll do.
So those are your next steps. So one day you might leave the scrapyard business and go do something else. And he feels the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, as much as I know he wants me to do like if it were taking over the company, I know he'd stand by me and but yeah, both of us are ready to move, ready to try new things.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got a little sister. She actually grew up in the yard like me, but she's got a lot more smarts than me. She went to university. She's trying to become a doctor right now. She's trying to get into med school.
Okay. So if you didn't take how does your dad feel about it if you weren't gonna take over? Have you guys talked about that?
It's definitely a sore spot.
Yeah.
For most of my life, that's what I wanted was to take it over for him, and I just until I started working here and realizing how much actually goes into like as a kid, he come home late. He'd do the 18, 19 hour days, and as much as like yeah, dad worked a lot. I didn't realize how much actually goes into work and how tired you are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I can't see that for myself, and looking after children or being there for my family at the same time. So
But, I mean, you living on the property and living there right now, your work days must be longer than what they would be if you weren't living there. Like, is it like, "All right, well, I mean, you don't have to go home because you're already here. You wanna take, like, another 3 or 4 hours and finish off that,"
yeah, that's
right?
exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, at first, when we did move here, I was working. I'd get up at 3, 4, start loading trucks, and then I'd go home 5, 6, 7 when I decided, I guess. But it was long, and then after I hit a point, I realized I had to cut down my hours and start looking after myself because can't do much, can't work if you're not looking after yourself. So
You know, that's a subject that I've gotten on with multiple guests, multiple, and I like getting on this subject because I think that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to blue collar men and women what we sacrifice. You know, yeah, the jobs are very dangerous, but nobody talks about the mental side. And as a man, for us men, I it's hard because we were always taught to push it down, you know? And then I bet for you it was almost the same thing because you being a blue collar woman and being raised into it from a child, you have been probably put your feelings down, get back to work.
yeah, I mean, I can say that I was lucky. My parents would listen, and they gave me space to share.
That's
Um,
good.
but I can see it with Mart, with my dad, with most of the men that I work with. Like I knew I was getting into dark places, and I can see it on them sometimes. Like it's tough, and when things aren't going your way or not everyone's on your side, it's hard to stay in the right mental game and to keep going. And it's hard to get it out of my dad or Mart, but I think slowly because I keep poking them, they open up to me, and you really do see how much it affects these men and how hard they actually hide it and what lengths they go to hide it.
It's yeah, so that is that's how I was taught as a kid. It's, you're a man. Men don't cry.
Yeah.
Tighten up, keep going. And yeah, we can shove a lot down, men and women in the blue collar. We do. We push it all down because one, you have to take care of your family. Two, you have to do what you have to do at work and get it done. And three, you do want to go home safe. So you're just trying to get it all done and be done with it. But at the end of the day, if you have something on your mind that's sitting on your mind all day, it's not that safe because you're not in the right state of mind. You're not there. You're focused on something else. And it's a lot of men, I can't say from experience from women's part, but a lot of men turn to alcohol or drugs. And when that gets into play, it's like, hey, yeah, you found something to cope with, but now you're really putting yourself in that position to either hurt somebody or hurt yourself the next day at work if you're hungover or if you're still drunk from that day or high on whatever. And that's the part that everybody sees as blue collars. Oh yeah, you're a bunch of alcoholics. Well, no, it's just men trying to cope with all the bullshit that they have pushed down over years and years of working, and it
Yeah.
needs to be talked about that the mental side of it. And I think that it took me it took me being hurt and then probably like 2 years after being hurt to actually talk to a therapist. And as a guy, doing that the whole my whole life, pushing your feelings down, when that was talked about, like, "Hey, let's talk to a therapist." Talk to somebody. But when I finally did it, I definitely suggest it. I suggest every guy, every woman that's working these long hours every day, you should at least talk to somebody, a friend, a therapist, do something. Get it off your chest, get it out because it does feel so much better when you start to get it off your chest.
Yeah, that's something Martin and I say often, that everybody should just be given therapists. But
Yeah,
the world would be a better place. Everyone just needs to talk to someone.
it's true. It is. You know, like you said, it does. It takes a huge effect on you,
Yeah,
especially working them long, long hours and you don't realize it.
yeah. It's like a beach ball. The further you push it down underwater, the more it's going to want to bounce back up.
Good way of putting that. I've never heard somebody put it like that.
Well, that's how it is at
A
work.
good example.
Stuff it down, and then you get too angry, something happens, something breaks, and then you punch something, and then
Yep.
you're the idiot. Like, I don't know how many times we've hurt ourselves punching things, and then we can't operate. Like, what's
That's so true. Yes. That's so true. Oh, man. Well, do you wanna talk about anything else? Do you have
um
anything you'd like to say to the viewers or any other women that are looking to get into the trades?
one I do, I guess, have one thing to say to the women in the trades.
Yeah.
I've been going to, we have these WOS women's meetups for women's in the trade, and just talking to a lot of the girls, I've noticed that the one thing that they like to share is that no more than everyone else in the room. I don't agree with that completely. Um, I think that no matter who you are, woman or man, whatever, just what shows is how hard you work. You know, as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're not working yourself to the bone, be a hard worker. Like, put some effort into it. Be proud of what you do at the end of the day, and be proud of what your work is and what it looks like. And no one's going to have anything to say bad about you. No one's going to be able to put you down if you're doing your work and you're doing it well.
Exactly. That's 100% right there.
It's not
If you
always
do it
on everything in the room.
if you're doing your job the way you should be. Oh, there we go. You
Sorry.
paused for a second. Yeah, if you're doing your job the way you should be and you're doing it safe and you're doing it productive, no one can say anything bad about you. Yeah, you're gonna have shit talkers. That's the blue collar industry.
Oh yeah.
That comes with it, man or woman. I don't care. You're gonna get shit talk.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. But you do your job and you do it good. I don't care how much shit talk. You're an important piece of that company, and you just do you. Don't
Yeah.
worry about what anybody else says. That's good advice. But Jordan, it was awesome having you on today.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and it was good to get to know you.
I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have to keep in touch.
Yeah, no, I'll mention to Mart.
Yes. Yeah, please. Try to stay warm up there.
Yeah, thank
I know
you.
you said earlier it's very cold right now.
Stay cool and hydrated down there.
Yes. But it was awesome having you on. I appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you. Take
You
care.
have a you have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.